Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do actually I'm gonna start a series of bot tutorials and reviews for you guys, just to give you guys an idea before you guys either enter into a bot or start renting something out for drops. So the first bot we're gonna actually start off with is one of my favorite bots that I use, GaneshBot. Ganesh is super well known in the botting community for the many EU users it has, for the EU websites it supports, and also for the US users, since the foot sites is probably considered the top foot sites bot at the moment right now. So Ganesh consists of two one's GUI, which is this right here, the interface, the GUI interface, and then it also has a CLI interface, which looks something like this. A lot of people um, might not be too familiar with a CLI, but I'll obviously go um, through it since it might look very intimidating to some new users or some people who've just always used GUI interface bots like this. It just makes easy, like user friendly. So the first thing we'll start off with is the GUI. So the first area you have in the GUI is you're creating your tasks. So you would go over here, the little button right here that says create, and you would start off into the store. So you would go pick the store. This is the list of stores it has. So we could go and pick Foot Locker for this video example. The next button you have is scheduling your task. So this would automatically start your task to what date, time you have on thing scheduled for. Uh, the next one is your modes. So Ganesh has two modes. The first mode is solving your data dome captchas. So obviously you guys know, um, or if you don't know, Footsites has Data Dome, which helps prevent botters to cop their shoes at large quantities. So what they do is they hit you with a captcha after they block your IP. So what Ganesh has integrated inside is it opens up a captcha which you can solve and it will unblock. The second mode is skipping your data dome captcha, so meaning it will rotate your proxy on your task, so you don't have to solve your captcha at all. So either one you could use. I usually end up using a 50-50 or depending on the drop, a 70-30. It really depends on like what drop you're going for. It's all mentioned in the guides that Ganesh has, so I'll put everything down below. Uh, the SKU is the next thing for the product. So this is basically your product ID that either your cook group will provide you, or if you're not in a cook group, you could go onto the product page where it's releasing. And if you scroll down, then you have the product ID mentioned there. The next part is your sizes. So you could select any size you want. If you want to do a custom sizing, you would do like 4.5, as if I want only sizes 4.5 to 6. I would click 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6, and it would just only go for those sizes. If I don't want to run a custom size, then I would just press the X over here, and I would just tick in the box that says any size, and it will do random sizing. The next box is your profiles. This is obviously we'll go into it next, but when you make your profiles will pop up here. And again, if you want to do custom profiles, meaning that you only want to do specific profiles, then you would obviously click each one, and just like the sizes, it will just stack on top of each other. Again, if you want to do just random profiles or use all your profiles, pretty self-explanatory. It says all profiles, tick it in, it'll use all your profiles. The last box on creating your task is your proxy list. So these are the proxy groups that Ganesh has. Um, these are obviously what I've named them, but it's whatever proxy you use. This is just by the names of their proxies providers. So for this video, I named one test vid. So we could just click that and you could use that one proxy. Again, you could click one, like as if I only want to use three out of the um, five of them, 3 out of 5 of them, that would just click those three and they would just use those for the tasks. Again, just like the other two, if I want to use all the proxy or any of them, just randomize them, I could just click this and it would use any, and after that you would just create your task and your task should pop up here. The next thing is your profiles. So you would create your profiles right over here, um, just like a normal bot actually. So this is really not too confusing. Um, you would put your profile name, your first name, last name, phone number, email, address, and your card number. So Ganesh actually has this really cool, it has a random first name, last name, and phone number generator. So you could just click these boxes and it will just make a random phone number, random first name, random last name. You have to put your email obviously and your address. Then you put your card number over here and just normally just a normal card number, and it pops up. Look at the Visa up here, it'll pop up different cards. um, this box right here is a manual checkout, so basically if once the bot has the checkout ready, then it'll send it towards your Discord and you can manually check it out on a browser. So you would just click that to manually check out, press create, and it will pop up here your profile. The next part is your proxies, and you could create your proxy groups. This is what I was talking about, making your tasks right here, is your proxy list. These are your groups that are made in the proxies. So as you can see, there's 5 different proxy groups over here. So this is the one that I made for the test vid. You would add your proxies towards here, drop a file, or if you just want to copy and paste your proxies, and you just press add proxies, and you could put in your proxies. You could also test all of them if you have your proxies and there's no proxies in right now, but you could just select the website for Looker and just test them and see that if they're working, which ones are bad, and you could end up deleting the bad ones that don't ping to the website. The next part is the analytics page. This is actually probably one of my favorite parts of the bot, that shows me that how many failed checkouts and successful checkouts you have. So I was actually doing a lot of testing today with different proxy providers, a lot of PV methods. So that's why you guys see like a couple of socks I've been checking out. Um, so this part shows you how many checkouts, how much money you've spent, the total amount of successful checkouts and the failed checkouts. Obviously, a lot of failed checkouts because I try to do a lot of testing to just find new ways and just test out different type of proxies. Um, the last part on the GUI is your settings page. So right here, obviously, shows your type of renewal. I have a lifetime copy. Um, Others might say renewal type copy. This is your retry delay and your monitor delay. So you could change this to whatever you want. Usually when I'm running for foot size, I keep it towards a 2500 to 3500 range. I really don't go above that. I've never really need to go above that. I think maybe once I did 4K, but really just 2500 to 3500 is really where I found the sweet spot for running. This is where you put your webhook in. So obviously towards Discord, just put your webhook there, and you could press here, and you could just the webhook will get sent, and you could just that's just a test. So whenever you check out, the webhook will send towards right to your Discord. The next part is your update, so it shows you what type of version you're on, and if there's an update, then in the Discord, Arthur will let you know, the owner of Ganesh, and you can press check for update, and if you need to update, it'll prompt you to update. Right now we're currently on the latest version, so there's no need to update. The next part is your backup, so this is actually very helpful um, tool put in by the talented devs and owners This is actually a backup of your whole bot. So it basically makes a copy of your whole bot that you could move around, basically send to an email. And if you're, imagine like really if you're running on your local and you need to move it to a server, then you could just export a backup, put into your email, send it towards your server, and just import it back into the bot right there. Just super fast, rather than having to changing all your settings, your retry delay, your profiles, your proxies, your tasks, and everything. Just just a very easy tool and to use that makes life easier at times that you need to like perform under a lot of pressure. The last thing right here is your CLI buttons. This might be a little confusing, but once I get into the CLI, you guys will see what this is here. This is actually very important and helpful to even me up till this day after for the CLI users. So let's move on to the CLI of Ganesh. So this is how it looks. Actually, let me open it up again because I wanted to show you how it looks when it's turning on. So yeah, so this is how it looks when it's turning on. Right now I have tasks loaded, so that's why you could see the tasks that are loaded over here. When you start up, the thing it looks very intimidating to a new users, but I'll explain it so it won't. It really isn't actually like even for me when I first started up, I was like super like intimidated by how it looks. It just looks very confusing, but actually really is probably one of the easiest bots I've used for CLI. So the first thing that you would do coming in the CLI would be pressing 5 to configure your settings. So I would press 5, enter, and once you enter, then you have all of these options that you could do to update your webhook URL, test webhook, change retry delay, monitor delay, um, add API keys and reCAPTCHA keys and stuff like that. So if I wanted to update my webhook URL, I'll press 2 because you would have to look to these numbers right here, all these numbers 1, 2, 3, and just go off to that. Um, so if I wanted to update, I press 2, enter, put in my new webhook URL, or if you're for the first time, you put your webhook URL, and right now I don't need to, so I won't change up that. You could test your webhook, just make sure you did it properly, and it will send your webhook towards your Discord. You could update your captcha keys, add a two captcha key, anti captcha, cap monster, and all those type of keys to for your bot. So that's about it for your settings. So we could go back to the monitor main page by pressing 12. So this is the part where people actually get very intimidated from a CLI, but it's actually very easy since Ganesh devs and the owners have made it so easy. So you would open up the GaneshBot folder right here on the side. I have it right here. When you're downloading it, it'll obviously automatically pop up on your desktop or wherever you download it. So you would open up the Ganesh folder, and this is where you would basically make all your CLI changes. So first thing first is your proxies. This is where I have proxies imported inside of here already, so that's why I don't want to touch it right now. But this is where you just click and paste your proxies in like as if you did in the GUI and just save it on the side of the corner. After pressing file, you just press save, X out, and that's it. Your proxies are saved. Or if you're wherever you get proxies from, they're always usually should come into a file, a text file, um, and you could just drag that into here just like a normal thing. If they don't come into a file, then obviously you could just click the proxy text and just paste it into there and save it. Um, the part that a lot of people get scared of is making the task in the CLI. So there's actually a very easy way that Ganesh lets you make tasks and for CLI. So like we were talking, that you can make your task in the GUI, and after you make your task in the GUI, the easy way, which a lot of people are comfortable with, you can go into settings actually, and this is the part that I was telling you that we would come back to. You could go and export your task to CLI. So if you click this button, right now there's no task that I've made in the GUI, but if you click this button, then it'll automatically send it to this folder, like as if these two I've made it in the GUI and send it towards here. It automatically send it with all your information and everything. You don't need to put any profiles into the CLI or anything. It automatically send it towards your CLI folder, and you could just cancel out this folder. Once you open up your CLI, um, these tasks will automatically pop up in the CLI. So literally, it's literally takes like 5 minutes for me sometimes if I just make it in GUI and send it to the CLI, and I would press launch my GaneshBot full locker task, press 1, since the number over here is 1. So I will launch it, 1, and it asks me what proxy I want to use. Since I only have one file, then I would press 0 to use all the proxies. I have 4,000 proxies because I was running today in the morning. So I would press enter, and it will start up. And right now, obviously, it's out of stock. So that would just be how you would start tasks. Other than that, um, the CLI is pretty self-explanatory. Nothing too hard. A lot of people get intimidated by it, but it's really just a very easy bot to use because of the bot devs and the owners, Arthur and Jake, have made it. Um, so this is about it for this video. If you guys have any other suggestions or bots that you want me to do, I'll happily review them if I have them. Even if I don't have them, I'll rent them out for like a day and just review them for you guys. So drop your suggestions below for any bots or tutorials you guys want, and I'll for sure get onto it. Other than that, thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoy.